Welcome back to the weekend preview with myself and Robbie. By Saturday night, Manchester City will be Premier League champions if they can beat Chelsea at the Etihad.
Pep Guardiola's side will secure their third Premier League trophy in 4 years with a win, but Thomas Tuchel's team stand in their way of sealing the title this weekend.
All eyes will be on the Etihad on Saturday after a midweek which saw both Manchester City and Chelsea reach the Champions League final.
The two will meet again on May the 29th to decide who will be crowned Kings of Europe after beating PSG and Real Madrid to make it through. Let's hear from both managers now.
What we have done these 4 years is incredible in terms of the Premier Leagues and the Carabao Cups and the Cups and every competition played. And reaching the final helps to understand what we have done. It's unfair, but it's what it is. We have to accept it. But the people believe, Champions League, reach this competition in the finals is so difficult. It's the toughest one. The quality of the opponents, the composure that you have to have, the suffer the toughest moments. And we did it. So we make an incredible Champions League season. The people believe, Champions League, reach this competition in the finals is so difficult. It's the toughest one. The quality of the opponents, the composure that you have to have, the suffer the toughest moments. And we did it. So we make an incredible Champions League season, and now we deserve to be there. We're going to play the final.
I was part of amazing club from the first day. Like I said, I felt huge support from day one, and I'm very grateful to be at the sideline of this team. What another energetic performance, full of positive attitude, full of hunger. What a spirit to show in moments where we needed to suffer in first half, and what a reaction in second half. And to the heads were never down, heads were always up, even after these big chances that we missed, always stayed positive, and we never regret something, so it was fantastic.
He's sticking with them. Tammy Abraham, who I think should have had more opportunities and would have scored more goals than Werner. He's having to sit on the sides. Giroud, we're hardly seeing him. But the young boys like Mason Mount, still the best players, James, the right wing back. I think Azpilicueta's been outstanding, bringing him back in. Going to a free was a key decision for him, and I think it changed their season around. I think more of their squad suit playing at the back. Frank Lampard went with the 4. Azpilicueta's been outstanding. Rudiger bringing him back in. Going to a free was a key decision for him, and I think it changed their season around. I think more of their squad suit playing free at the back. Frank Lampard went with the 4, ultimately cost him his job.
Do you think, you're giving credit to Thomas Tuchel, but, the players you mentioned there, Mason Mount, Reece James, even Tammy Abraham, do we think a little bit of credit's got to be given to Frank Lampard too, because another manager might not have given those players the chance last season?
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes, unless the coach has seen them play in the Premier League, they're not going to give them the opportunity to come from the under-21s or on loan at Derby, as Mason Mount was, straight into their team when they're chasing Champions League. But Frank gave the boys the opportunity to play in the Premier League, showed Tuchel how well they have actually done. He's got to see for himself. People talk about Mason Mount, that he was only playing because he was the teacher's pet. He was Frank Lampard's pet, Jody Morris's pet. They were talked about it with Gareth Southgate. It's because he's come through the under-21s and that. It's not. It's actually because he's the best player at the football club, or one of the best players at the football club. He's a top-draw professional, fantastic ability, a real goal threat, and a real leader in that side. That is why he's playing. And Tuchel didn't worry about what people were saying. He wanted to see for himself, and he made the correct decision by leaving him in. He's the talisman of that side now. But there's so many heroes in that Chelsea side. As for Man City, they were outstanding as well, Miguel, wasn't they?
Oh, yes. And also, I was at the Chelsea game, but what also struck me, the two matches were actually very similar in part, which is interesting given the two managers and how they usually like to coach, which is usually on the front foot and kind of, dominating the game. But both of these matches are basically really, really strong defence performances, and then just absolutely cutting the opposition to ribbons on the break. Really fast break, which is somewhat different for the two teams. But and I suppose shows the kind of variation they've both got now.
I mean, Diaz was unbelievable, wasn't he? I mean,
Loves
the amount of
defending,
blocks,
loves
him and
defending.
John Stones. I mean, he was just celebrating blocks.
Player of the year?
Yeah, he made the difference. Like Van Dijk did to Liverpool, he was the difference between them and the goalkeeper as well. When Alisson come in. But with Diaz, I think he's made a difference. Not only his performances, but the difference he's made to John Stones, who plays alongside him, or whether it's him or Laporte. Outstanding leader at the back there.
Well, I suppose in that situation, though, when you're someone like Diaz as well, like, it's almost like when they're making those big blocks like that, they're really about kind of they're defiant. It's almost like they have a kind of an infectious effect that then other players see that and they kind of take it on.
Yeah.
Seen the way they celebrated the blocks.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was almost like it's celebrating a goal, wasn't it?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were literally.
You know, Mason Mount, I read a quote that, when Chelsea were last in the Champions League final, when they beat Bayern, his parents allowed him to stay up late to watch that game. Now, he could possibly be one of the best players in a Champions League final.
And he's put them there. He got the goal that clinched it. I mean, I think he's been Chelsea's player of the season. And there's an interest, I suppose, there's so many strands to these games, but one of the little kind of subplots is almost not quite Foden versus Mount, but also how they're kind of parallel. They've both gone from being very promising young players who the clubs have invested so much in to actually now being arguably the most important attacking players in the team. Obviously City have De Bruyne, but Foden is just certainly he's overtaken Sterling.
When we look at Mason, he's played 49 times. He's 22 years old, just his second season playing Premier League football. Does he remind you of a certain Frank Lampard, do you think?
Yeah, with his goal threat, I think he's a better player than Frank outside. He's a very, very intelligent footballer, and I think he suits the system what Chelsea play.
But Tim has mentioned the system, and I think the attacking players are allowed to do that because 18 clean sheets in 24 games and all come from Tuchel is amazing.
It's absolutely remarkable. But I think that's testament to Tuchel as well, because I know Chelsea haven't scored that much, but I wouldn't actually class them as a defensive side. It's more a case of they just haven't kind of translated possession into goals and they've missed a lot of chances. It feels like the defensive record comes as much just from the structure of the team rather than just having a really solid back line.
18 clean sheets is incredible.
They need 18 clean sheets, Rob, because they don't score enough goals.
Yeah. The chances they missed in the Champions League against Real Madrid.
I thought they were going to get punished.
So
It's one of them games where you keep missing chances and you just think the other end and they're going to score. I still think they need a number 9. I believe they need a 9. I think Man City, their opponents in the Champions League final and their opponents this weekend, going to need a number 9
Man United
as well.
Do they need a 9 as well?
And they're all fighting for the same players.
Yeah, there's not many out there, is there?
No.
Exactly.
But it's also why, because I think Chelsea will get that 9. In fact, I think they've got a decent chance of getting Haaland. They certainly think that they've got an attractive option for him. But it's why I think this game isn't just a dress rehearsal for the final. It's a dress rehearsal for next season's title race. Because I think Chelsea, especially if they get that forward, they can make the leap up.
They get Haaland.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next year already. I mean, Man United, I've said it before, if they get Harry Kane, they win the Premier League.
Yeah.
Or
They win it.
they'll be second favourites to win the Premier League.
They'll be up there.
But if they went and got Haaland as well, Chelsea, then it's them in it. Then Liverpool have all their players back to fitness. Wow.
Hopefully, it's got the potential to be one of the best title races, rather than just 2 teams or one team. But listen, this could be the weekend where Manchester City are Premier League champions for the 3rd time in just 4 years. It's been an incredible season. They could win. They're going to win the Premier League. They could win the Champions League. They've won the League Cup. Would this be Pep Guardiola's biggest career moment, do you think?
Well, I mean, I'd still class that kind of 2011 Champions League final as, I mean, that's the best performance I've ever seen. I was at that game.
Against Manchester
United.
United.
It was incredible. But I think what's significant about it is that it's the first time in Guardiola's career where he's actually done a Fergie. He's built a new team almost. Because it shouldn't be forgotten that in October, November, there was a lot of talk that the players were sick of him. He'd been too intense. The City players needed a change. And he's basically arrested that and built it up again. And that's to his credit.
But they're still sick of him. He's still too intense. But they're still going to win 3 trophies, in my opinion. And the only thing Pep would be worried about is they never won the FA Cup. And that is what a perfectionist the guy is.
Yeah.
He wants to win everything he's in.
And what about...
I believe they win the Champions League. It's about when they win the Premier League. Will they do it this weekend? I think it's a 50-50 game.
If you'd have said 6 to 8 weeks ago, Sterling would struggle to get in the City side, they wouldn't be playing with a number 9. You'd have Foden on one side and Mahrez playing the football he is. He has been unbelievable.
Yeah. But it just shows you their strength and depth. And I think there's been a few murmurs that there's been a little bit of a difference of opinion between Guardiola and Sterling about his role and his tactical role. But it just shows you with City, well, okay, if you're not good, you can just bring in someone else.
You do it or you don't play. Yeah. He's had it with De Bruyne in short periods, hasn't he, back in the day? He's had it with Aguero. He's had it with Mahrez. He has it with all of them. But they all come round to his style of thinking because, you know what, he's the best. And they realise he's the best. And what he's going to actually make him do, he's not going to make them rich because they're already rich. He's going to make them win. And he's going to make them have trophies at the end of their careers. And as a player, that's all you want.
Yeah. Are you surprised by how well Riyad Mahrez has done, especially this season?
I was a non-believer when he first went there. I thought it might be a step too high for him. But he has grown on me like you wouldn't believe. He's been outstanding. I think it's confidence. I think it's because we talked about manager devaluing or putting value on players. Even though they're a high price when they go to Man City, none of them drop in value. I mean, Pep puts value on all of them. And they're defensive players as well. So, incredible. Look at it. I mean, that control what he has there with the outside of his left foot, he does it time and time again. From the ball coming from left to right, he doesn't even look at the ball. Instinctively, he just knows it's there. On the half volley as well. Numbers are incredible. I mean, credit to the boy. You know, he was a bit part when he first went in there.
Yeah.
But they can't leave him out now. He's been outstanding.
So do you think he doesn't play tomorrow in the Premier League, but he will be playing in the Champions League final against Chelsea?
He is in their best team.
Yeah.
He is in their best team. Foden on the other side, and unfortunately for Raheem Sterling, he is not. Tomorrow, Raheem will play. Aguero will play. Mendy will play. You can almost...
Game plan all the time. So, surely in this situation, even though Chelsea need to win and City want to win a title, surely they save their best for the final, and I don't want to give too much away
Chelsea
here.
can't, though.
Chelsea can't.
We've an FA Cup final next weekend as well, Chelsea have,
Chelsea
as well as...
Surely. Top 4.
But say, it just creates something interesting about the game, though, I think.
You don't want to go into the Champions League final have to win to get Champions League football.
So
but I don't think Thomas Tuchel will rest players ahead of this game.
Thomas Tuchel won't.
No.
Pep will. Pep will make 7 or 8 changes.
But his 8 changes doesn't really make them that much weaker, does it?
It makes them weaker because, it does make them weaker.
Not much.
But
but not a weak side, not a poor side, but it makes them weaker. We're talking about a team which is out of this world and a team which is world class.
Yeah, but if you bring in Aguero, Sterling, and
Mendy,
but they're not,
Torres,
but you're leaving out Foden. You're leaving. I mean, I think you're going to put Mendy in instead of Zinchenko.
Rodri in for Fernandinho.
Mendy can't handle the ball. He's a danger to it.
Cancelo. Laporte comes in.
No, they've still got... No, don't get me wrong, still got good players, but if they were the top players, they'd be playing in the Champions League final, wouldn't they? And the reason they're playing tomorrow night is because they're not as good.
Good point, Tim.
And are you going to argue with... Are you not only going to argue with me, you're going to argue with Pep Guardiola?
No, good point, Tim, again.
Listen, Miguel, do you think this game will have any bearing on the Champions League final? And are you expecting similar games tomorrow and in the final?
Yeah, I think they'll be tight. I mean, even though both would consider themselves attacking managers, possession, pressing... I think there'll be tight games where very tactical. And I mean, the FA Cup was almost a perfect dress rehearsal in that way, which was decided by one break. I do think that it'll be Chelsea who are the more pragmatic team that kind of sit off more. But then maybe Guardiola will come up with something to try and kind of undermine that.
Maybe. It's a massive game, isn't it? Oh, Miguel, are Manchester City going to be crowned Premier League champions this weekend?
I think it's going to be a draw. So maybe we might have to wait.
Maybe wait one more game, Tim.
Yeah. I think Chelsea win.
Do you?
Yeah. It's not Man City's priority, this game. They're going to win the Premier League. I think Chelsea will win the football match.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Tim's got Chelsea
Man
to
City's
win.
reserves.
Man City's reserves. They're still really good.
Could Man City reserves win the Premier League?
No, they'll be in the Champions League, though. Yeah. In the Champions League spot.
Top 4.
Top 4. They'll take that, I'm sure.